It was recently announced that Randolph Ross of the United States was suspended for 3 years due to tampering with the testing process. Ross was scheduled to compete at the 2022 World Championships, but was suspended just a day before the start of the 400 meters. Ross became one of the top athletes in the United States over the past 2 years with his amazing performances in the 400. So let's quickly take a look back at his career and see how we got to this point of Ross's 3-year suspension. Coming out of high school, Randolph Ross was one of the top 400-meter athletes in North Carolina and a rising star nationally as well. While competing for Gardner High School, he was the 2019 New Balance Nationals outdoor champion in the 400 and had a personal best of 46.80 seconds. His father, Dwayne Ross, was the head coach at North Carolina A&T University at the time, and so it only made sense for Randolph to join the team and be coached by his father. So he joined in the fall of 2019. During that 2019 to 2020 indoor season, Ross stepped things up big time, running a personal best of 45.85 in his first indoor 400 and following that up with 45.44 just 2 weeks later. He also ran a 200-meter personal best of 20.85 seconds. These times made him one of the top 400-meter athletes in the country and a serious threat to win the 2020 NCAA indoor title. Unfortunately, as we all know, the world shut down in 2020. So Ross was never able to compete at either the indoor or outdoor championships, postponing his potential breakout. But returning in 2021, Ross continued right where he left off with times of 45.21 and 20.50 seconds indoors in the 400 and 200 respectively. At the 2021 NCAA Indoor Championships, Ross ran a time of 44.9 seconds in the 400 meters, which was one of the fastest times in the history of the event. He would finish second place to LSU's Noah Williams, who ran 44.71 to win the competition. But outdoors, Ross took it up another notch. After running a time of 44.60 during the outdoor season, Ross went on as one of the favorites to win the NCAA title, and he delivered. A huge personal best of 43.85 seconds won him the 2021 NCAA title. That 43.85 made him number 13 all time in the history of the 400 meters and just barely off the NCAA record. But Randolph Ross was not done. Just 2 weeks later, he finished third place at the US Olympic trials, booking his ticket to the Tokyo Olympic Games in the 400-meter dash. At the Olympics, Ross unfortunately didn't perform as well as many expected, only running 45.67 seconds and getting eliminated in the heats. But he had run a long NCAA season and was still very young, so many figured that he would definitely be back. In 2022, Ross was out to do even better than the previous year. Indoors, after a comfortable personal best of 44.83 in the season, Ross went on to win the 400-meter NCAA title in a time of 44.62 seconds, making him the third fastest indoor 400-meter runner in history, just a 10th off the world record. Outdoors, he stepped it up once again, consistently winning all of his 400 races, culminating with an NCAA title in a time of 44.13 seconds. So, not nearly as fast as in 2021, but showing that he was here to stay. Once again, at the 2022 USA Championships, Ross went on to finish third place, making the team to the World Championships in Eugene, Oregon. Also note that his father, Dwayne Ross, announced that he would now be the head coach at the University of Tennessee. So Randolph Ross joined his father and would be transferring to the University of Tennessee in the fall of 2022. Now here is where things begin to break down though. Just a day before the start of the 400-meter dash at the World Championships, it was announced that Ross was provisionally suspended for tampering with the doping control process in connection with conduct during the course of an investigation into a potential whereabouts violation on June 18th. So after we got this news, things went quiet for a bit. The World Championships continued, his father moved to Tennessee to become the head coach, and Randolph remained out of the spotlight and the news cycles. Then, on December 13th, it was announced that Ross would be banned for 3 years until June 30th, 2025. So what happened during this time? Well, the rules in track and field are that an athlete will face a suspension if they have 3 whereabouts failures within a 12-month period. Ross apparently had picked up 2 whereabouts failures and was in danger of getting another one for whatever reason. Because of this, he admitted to altering a system-generated email to try and avoid this 3rd whereabouts failure. So essentially, the 3 whereabouts failures and the tampering, as in the modification of an email, leading to his 3-year suspension. Now, it's not so cut and dry, and the whereabouts process is actually pretty tricky, and many athletes, pretty notable athletes, have spoken about how they get dinged with whereabouts failures just because of updating their location and all these various different things like that.
It's really easy to miss one. My first couple of years, I've had missed tests because I was in the library. I was in school at the time. I was in the library, and they're at my door knocking, and I get a missed test.
I've missed one when 2017. I put PM instead of AM. So I'm expecting them in the morning all the time, and they had been coming. And yeah, I went out with my friends for dinner, and I come back and I see an email. And it's like, "You've missed tests." Hold up, what? No, I didn't. Ooh. All right, it's time to start getting harder up on that.
And sometimes they would show up, at the right location. Sometimes they wouldn't. Like I know, one time they went to the wrong apartment at one time, and I was like, I updated it last night, and they're like, oh, but I had it updated I haven't updated it since like 2 days ago, so it said I was supposed to be at my apartment. So, sometimes it gets confusing, but no, I have not missed a test yet, and there has been close calls.
But they haven't actually been banned because, again, it takes 3 whereabouts failures in a 12-month period. So missing 1 or 2 won't actually do anything. Now, I'm not going into the weeds with the details such as the time periods, the testing process, the whereabouts process, all that stuff, but I suggest you read the interview that Randolph Ross did with Track and Field News, really breaking down all the specifics, getting very granular, and talking about exactly what happened this year and the connection to USADA, WADA, and the timelines of his 3 misses, as well as why he was quiet over the past few months and how it could have been way worse for him if he spoke with the media. Again, definitely check out that article. But so where does Randolph Ross go from here? Well, his suspension will be up on June 30th, 2025. That means he will miss a chance at both the 2023 World Championships and the 2024 Olympics, losing a chance at some redemption. But in 2025, he will actually be very, very lucky. The World Championships will be held in Tokyo that year from September 13th to September 24th. That means that it's very likely the USA Championships will be held sometime in July 2025, giving Randolph Ross a chance to compete for a spot on the team. He will also only be 24 years old at that point, so still very, very young. But the downside, not only being suspended for 3 years, but he almost certainly missed out on signing a pro contract in the next few years, or even staying in the NCAA and getting an NIL deal, which almost certainly would have been worth a good amount of money considering what Ross has already done on the track. But regardless, though Ross was not caught for a doping positive, but simply a whereabouts violation, he will still have to sit out for 3 years, and hopefully he will be able to come back, compete with the best, and be right back in that 40-degree-second range. So let me know what you think about the Randolph Ross situation and his career leading up to this point. Again, check out the in-depth interview that Ross did with Track and Field News, linked in the description below. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and be back again next time. Thanks for watching.